Welcome back, guys. Or if you're new to my channel, this is Automotive Anonymous. That's our 2025 Subaru Forester. It's a premium in crystal white pearl, and this is the long overdue nighttime driving review video of it. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. I actually meant to have this out about a month or two ago, but I just kept forgetting because I usually don't film videos at night. So today I'm going to try to show you a lot of cool stuff about the Forester at night, maybe a few tricks and gimmicks that you don't already know. But anyways, we're going to start with a walk around. I'm going to show you what the LED lighting front and back looks like. While we're back here, let me show you just how bright the LED reverse lights are, which on my Outback Wilderness, I don't think they are LED because they are certainly not this bright. But above the license plate, even just the daytime running lights, or when you actually put on the brake lights, it gets really bright back there. Just check out how much light on the regular beams is protruding across this parking lot. Probably like 200 feet, I would imagine. Let me flash the high beams real quick. And if you guys like anything that you see today in this nighttime driving video, please be so kind to consider liking this video, comment your thoughts and opinions below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much, and let's get back into it. Show you guys what that looks like. Currently, we have the ambient lighting on the dashboard, not super high, not super low, kind of right in the middle. Might as well show you how high it can get and how low it can get. Pretty bright right there, but when you do put on the high beams, quite a bit more light. Not really more intensive light, it just goes a little bit higher up, if you guys can see that. I'll maybe zoom in a little bit too. So LED lighting is really not an issue on this platform. If I come around to the front, the LED fog light should be on as well. Yep. And the daytime running light bar, it looks really good. Really lights up a lot of stuff. Even the turn signal right here, that is a pretty bright light, but actually it does kind of look like an LED underneath all the honeycomb design. So exterior lighting is fantastic on this, but we have about 20% tint on the back, 35% on the front, and the sunroof. In the windows, I mean, obviously when the light's on the other side, it's not gonna look that dark, but because the windows are so big, even when we hop inside, you can still see out of this super well. Maybe it is a little bit more noticeably dark in the back. We're also further away from the headlights, you know, the further to the rear we go. But getting inside the vehicle and letting the LED lights turn off, which are super bright, you can see out the rear pretty good. The camera's not catching it as good as my eye can see it, but even with the tint, you see pretty nicely. And if I open up the huge pano sunroof cover, well, it's quite a bit of light in too. So overall, I really can't complain. Here are the high beams again. And then just sitting in here, the low dashboard lights are pretty low. The highs are pretty high. So keeping it right in the middle where it's not going to be distracting does a pretty good job. You also have some LED lighting above the wireless charger. You can see there's a few other odds and ends lit up, but overall this is a pretty nice place to be. The backup camera with those really bright lights actually does a really good job at night. You can see the trajectory lines move, and X mode options to engage are right there. But something interesting, I'm in park, if you guys can see that right there, my foot's off the brake. I'm gonna turn the LED light on right there so you guys can see the lighting stock. Currently it's on auto. Let me turn it to off. All right, so it is an off. The headlights are off. I'm gonna now put it into drive, and watch this. This Subaru will not let you drive at night without the headlights on, even when the vehicle isn't off. Even if I turn the fog lights off, you can see a little bit of a difference right there. It's only gonna light up maybe the closest 30 feet to you on the ground, so I like to have that especially on the highway for animals and stuff, which we'll get to some highway driving in just a little bit. But leaving that on, keeping that in off, if it will focus, yep. I go back into park, it's turned off. I go back into drive, it's turned on. So kind of interesting. I'm actually kind of curious though, if I can do auto vehicle hold while I'm in drive, and if I can get out of the vehicle and if it'll stay. Ooh, I think it will stay. Don't try this at home, kids. This is all CGI right now. The vehicle's in drive, auto vehicle hold is on, so the vehicle is beeping at us. Let me try the reverse. See if we can do that too. Okay, so we can. That's kind of neat. For if any of you guys are wondering, again, don't try this at home. It's not advised. But check out how bright those lights are. Anyways, let me also show you the light back here. Oh, it won't open it while the vehicle's running and while it's in gear, I guess. So if I go into park, I'll just use the button right there to pop the hatch open. And then there's also the LED light here, as well as by the back seats. They're all basically the same. They're all very bright, and it actually adds a lot of noticeable light, if you guys can see that. I actually had to use that in my Outback just the other day, and it was actually kind of helpful, and the first time I have ever used that. But anyways, guys, I think I've rambled on long enough right here, so I'm going to take this on the road, we'll drive a little bit through town, and then we'll take it on the highway. I find it really interesting how you just notice so much more noise at night, so you can really hear all the incongruencies in the road. Your speakers, they sound better at night, and you just notice a lot of noises. Even the turn signals are so much louder than they usually are. But driving down a 35-mile-per-hour road in the Forester, which is going to be very similar to a lot of other Subarus, especially the modern ones, visibility again is fantastic. You can just see out of these windows so incredibly well. You can see the Ram truck ahead of us. The lighting looks really good because a lot of it's caught by the ground. Of course, you guys are going to have to drive one of these for yourself at night to really get the full picture of how well the lighting is. It looks pretty dark out the sides and the back. So I think this is where you guys just got to believe me that you can actually see pretty well outside of the windows from this. Even with a little bit of tint, it's not really going to impede much. You still get a lot of light coming through. I don't necessarily like these lights in the interior to be super bright, so I do have them down on the lower setting. But you can see out of this vehicle really well. The headlights do a good job. Around town, obviously, everything else is lit up pretty well. The road, the paint, it's not fantastic. It's not super reflective, but the eyesight system, if we get into that, it still activates literally right away, is way faster than my Outback, especially these days. It seems to be a little bit slower at engaging. It still can take this pretty impressive corner. CGI, hands-free. This is not a hands-free system, so remember that. But yeah, it activated, it caught it, and it did a really good job just now. So, pretty cool. Anyways, we'll get to the next spot, and then I'll show you some more. There's a little bit of traffic up ahead coming against us. You can see most of those cars have LED headlights too, and LEDs seriously make such a difference over halogens. And this vehicle is no exception. I love how good Subaru LED headlights are. And I just think it's cool that a lot of the other lights in these modern ones, even at ours being only a $35,000 example, they basically all have LED lights throughout them. And that's pretty neat. Even the fog lights, they match the color, like the Kelvin rating and everything. And they just look good and they do a good job. And while I'm here, there's a little bit more traffic on my way out to the country. You'll also notice a big truck behind us. These auto-dimming mirrors on the front and the side, they do such a good job to really dull down the intensity of what you otherwise would be feeling when you have to do the little flippy thing. These don't have the flippy thing because it's just the kind of like an electromagnetic sort of response where you can push the green light, you can turn off that feature, but just sitting here in traffic, none of the lights behind me are on the side, even though those are really bright LEDs on like a Super Duty F1, F250 right there. It's really not bad. You don't really notice a whole lot. And then you can see just how good my lighting is on this little Chevy Cobalt in front of us. And then some of it even going on the periphery on the side vehicles. These lights, again, really good. Easy to see out of the vehicle if I haven't made that perfectly abundantly clear yet. So now, unless something else really cool pops up, I will wait until I'm back out into the country to share the next clip. All right, as I take this corner, we're kind of on the edge of town and getting out into the country a little bit. There's obviously no overhead lights on this road. If I go into cruise control, let's see if it detects a line. As long as I'm not driving over the line. Well, it doesn't seem to be detecting it, and it's not detecting the edge either. But again, these headlights do such a good job. This is the low beams. Once that car is a little bit further out of the picture, I'll turn on the highs. Yeah. So it becomes a more narrow focus, further and higher, pointed beam of light. If I go through a little bit of a neighborhood, there's not much for overhead lights. There's the occasional light. There's obviously house lights, which aren't usually very bright, and those, I guess some of them are LEDs, some of them are incandescents. And on camera, it just looks like there's a whole lot of light coming out of this car. I feel like it maybe shows more on camera than it does in person. You can definitely see everything super well, and there's a lot of light that these headlights pump out, but the camera's not going to be the same as the naked eye, so always, borrow one, drive it at night for yourself. Now that we're getting into the depths of fall and it's getting cold and the sunlight's going away, heck, it's not even 8 o'clock and it's this dark out. You should be able to probably borrow one of these while the dealerships are open, or whoever you borrow it from, to, do your own version of this test. But overall, guys, I'm impressed with it. I'm sorry that it took so long for me to pump out this video. I hope it was beneficial to you guys. I hope it was helpful in some way, shape, or form. And if you got anything out of this video, please consider liking this video. Comment your thoughts and opinions below. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to hear what you think of all of this. Do you want to see more nighttime driving videos? Have you had enough and you're falling asleep because, at least on the screen, it looks dark? Anyways, I'm just rambling on at this point. Wish you guys the best. Hope you take care. Make the right decision for you. And don't just take my word for it, because I'm just a random bloke that you met on the internet. And with that said, see you guys.